In his book Atomic Habits, James Clear shares his step-by-step plan for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. The author reveals a different way to achieve success, not by setting big goals, but by following a system of tiny changes that compound over time and make a real difference. James Clear teaches us ways to train the brain to create the new behaviors, making it easy to follow through instead of relying on a strong will. At Read and Grow, we review the books you want to read and present them to you in a short and memorable video. Make this channel part of your daily routine and check our book summaries for timeless principles, new insights, and unwavering motivation. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell in order to stay tuned. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way money multiplies through compound interest, the effect of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. It's only when looking back 2, 5, or perhaps 10 years later that the value of good habits and the cost of bad ones becomes strikingly apparent. Habits are a double-edged sword. Bad habits can get you down just as easily as good habits can build you up, which is why understanding the details is crucial. You need to know how habits work and how to design them to your liking, so you can avoid the dangerous half of the blade. Prevailing wisdom states the best way to achieve what we want is to set specific, actionable goals. The author claims that the results you get have very little to do with the goals you set, and nearly everything to do with the systems you follow. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are good for making progress. True long-term thinking is not about any single accomplishment. It's about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. How to change your habits. Many people begin the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. James Clear's approach is to start by focusing on who we wish to become. True behavior change is identity change. Improvements are only temporary until they become part of who you are. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. So changing your habits is a simple two-step process. 1. Decide the type of person you want to be. 2. Prove it to yourself with small wins. How a habit works. Every habit can be broken down into 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and reward. Your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there is a cue that triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It's a bit of information that predicts a reward. You start craving the reward and it motivates you to take action, which is the actual habit you perform. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Knowing how this works and harnessing the science of human behavior, we can use a simple set of rules for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. The 4 laws of behavior change. The first law: make it obvious. Before we can effectively build new habits, we need to get a handle on our current ones. This can be more challenging than it sounds, because once a habit is firmly rooted into your life, it is mostly unconscious and automatic. If a habit remains mindless, you can't expect to improve it. Make your current behaviors obvious by creating a list of your daily habits and rating them. Do they reinforce your desired identity? If not, you need to make changes. A great way to start a new habit is to pair it with specific time and location. Something like, I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. Even better is to use the habit stacking approach, where you attach your new habit to a current one. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout shoes. The key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. Once you get comfortable with this approach, you can develop general behavior stacks to guide you whenever the situation is appropriate. When I see a set of stairs, I will take them instead of using the elevator. Design your environment so it helps you to manage your behavior. Make the cues of bad habits invisible and the cues of good habits obvious. The second law, make it attractive. What gets us to perform an action is the anticipation of a reward. The more attractive the reward for a certain behavior, the greater the motivation to act. Temptation bundling is one way to make your habits more attractive. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. If you want to read the news but you need to express more gratitude, you can use this formula. 1. After I get my morning coffee, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened yesterday. Need. 2. After I say one thing I'm grateful for, I will read the news. Want. If a behavior can get us approval, respect, and praise by our culture, we find it attractive and tend to adopt the habit because we have a strong desire to fit in and belong to the tribe. One of the most effective things you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where 1. Your desired behavior is the normal behavior, and 2. You already have something in common with the group. 3. Make it easy. A common question one can hear is, how long does it take to build a new habit? But what people really should be asking is, how many repetitions are required to make a habit automatic? It's the frequency that makes the difference, not the time. You need to string together enough successful attempts until the behavior is firmly embedded in your mind. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. The more energy an action requires, the less likely it is to occur. That's the idea behind Make It Easy. When you start a new routine, it should be easy and take less than 2 minutes to do. You'll find that nearly every habit can be scaled down into 2-minute version. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Read before bed each night becomes read one page. The idea is to make our habits as easy as possible to start. Anyone can meditate for 1 minute, read one page, or put one item of clothing away. This is a powerful strategy because once you've started doing the right thing, it is much easier to continue doing it. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The actions that follow can be challenging, but the first 2 minutes should be easy. What you want is a gateway habit that naturally leads you down a more productive path. And as you master the art of showing up, the first 2 minutes simply become a ritual at the beginning of a larger routine. The fourth law, make it satisfying. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. Although most people know that delayed gratification is a wise approach, the human brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. Thankfully, it is possible to train yourself to delay gratification, but you need to work with the grain of human nature and not against it. The best approach is to use reinforcement, which refers to the process of using an immediate reward to make a habit satisfying when you finish, and therefore increases the rate of behavior. This is especially helpful when dealing with behaviors you want to stop doing. It can be challenging to stick with behaviors like no alcohol this month, because nothing happens when you skip happy hour drinks. It can be hard to feel satisfied when there is no action in the first place, just resisting temptation. One way to make habit avoidance visible is to open a savings account and label it for something you want, maybe ski vacation. Whenever you pass on going out for drinks, put the same amount of money in the account. The immediate reward of seeing yourself save money toward the vacation feels a lot better than being deprived. You make it satisfying to do nothing. Another powerful tool in your toolbox is habit tracking. A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit. It simultaneously makes a behavior obvious, attractive, and satisfying. It's satisfying to cross an item off your to-do list, to complete an entry on your workout log, or to mark an X on the calendar. It feels good to watch your results grow, but no matter how consistent you are with your habits, it is inevitable that life will interrupt you at some point. There is one simple rule: never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. The Goldilocks rule. How to stay motivated. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Improvement requires a delicate balance. You need to regularly search for challenges that push you right to the edge while continuing to make enough progress to stay motivated. Behaviors need to remain novel in order to stay attractive and satisfying. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored with habits because they stop delighting us. The outcome becomes expected. As soon as we experience the slightest dip of motivation, we begin seeking a new strategy. Even if the old one was working, we get caught up in the never-ending cycle, jumping from one workout to the next, one diet to the next, one business idea to the next. As professional athletes can attest, the only way to become excellent is to be endlessly fascinated by doing the same thing over and over. We have to fall in love with boredom. A word of caution. Habits deliver numerous benefits, but the downside is that they lock us into our previous patterns of thinking and acting, even when the world is shifting around us. Everything is impermanent. Life is constantly changing, so you need to periodically check in to see if your old habits and beliefs are still serving you. If you enjoyed this video, you're sure to like our summary of The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which further examines the subject of compounding. Thank you for watching. Please check our channel for more videos like this. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite book? Can't get enough of reading? Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/readandgrow1, and also on Twitter at twitter.com/readandgrow1.